Well, I think you've had what we call a chilling effect on them because you say you're going to get crushed and you're the head of the party. I mean, I just think that carries a lot of weight.
No, the truth is the truth. I mean, unlike other politicians, I tell the truth.
But that's what... Be careful, before your party going to get mad at you. The idea is this, that it's just interesting for the party that used to define itself by character. It was such a huge thing for you guys. It should be for everybody, but you guys really marched on it. You now have a party that actively ignores it in their president.
I absolutely disagree with that.
When's the last time you saw any of your big shots say, hey, I gotta say, the president's just lying about this. This is a lie. He shouldn't lie.
First of all, I spend a lot of time with the president. I know him in a very different way. This is a president who has...
Please don't tell me you've never heard him lie. Please don't tell me that. I have so much respect for
how I spend a lot of time with the president. First of all, I grew up under the Clinton era. I was in D.C. I'm the same age as Monica Lewinsky. I was working at a firm. I watched them try and destroy her character and take her down. And I think it did have a seismic shift. I go to church for my moral leadership. I look at politicians based on, are you in line with my issues? Are you going to cut taxes? Are you going to deregulate? Are you going to do the things that align with me?
Is a moral leader for this?
I absolutely think he's a moral leader.
So I'm saying,
but it's different. I look at him more. I look at all my political leaders more in line of how do you line up with my policies? What are you going to do?
But politicians are supposed to be moral leaders. Aren't they supposed to reflect our best?
Okay.
Aren't they supposed to?
Well, if that's your definition, of course I want them to be moral leaders. But I'm saying, how are they going to govern is part of what dictates who you elect.
Of course.
You could be the nicest, most moral person in the world. I don't want you to be the president because I want to make sure that you're aligned with my policies.
Do you want to know that I tell the truth?
This president is told the truth on the things that he ran on. I'm going to cut taxes. Done. I'm going to bring more jobs back to this country.
Mexico's going to pay for
Done. You know what? The USMCA said is going to help pay for the wall, and he is building the wall, and he's done the national emergency.
I know, and which you talk about mendacity, talk about telling the truth. He admitted that the emergency that he declared wasn't an emergency.
And when Barack Obama said, if you like your health care plan, you can keep it, was that telling the truth?
Is that moral or is that moral relativism? So if somebody else said something that was a lie, is it okay for this president to lie?
Chris, I'm just not going to get in the back and forth. All I know is this is a president who came into states like mine and said, I'm going to help raise your wages.
He's going to drain the swamp?
Jobs. Yes.
How's the swamp looking?
I think the president's done a great job. He's fighting it every single day.
How's he fighting it when he put the biggest alligators in it we've ever seen?
What do you mean?
And look at the cabinet officials that have been dismissed. Have you ever seen anything?
Bringing great business leaders in to help with the cabinet, Wilbur Ross, Steve Mnuchin.
Administration under clouds of unethical behavior.
He's brought a different type of cabinet, and they are getting things done.
Some things done. You have less positions filled. You have all this political intrigue, people getting indicted. It's hard to say he cleaned it up.
So I represent what I see around the country. I'm proud of this president. I'm going to vote for him again. I'm excited to work on his reelect. I think he's done the things that he campaigned on, and that's how I view this president. And more than that, I travel the country and I hear people saying every day, I'm so thankful that he ran. I wish he got the recognition he deserves. I wish people would talk about the results more than the investigations and all the other things that are just noise compared to what's happening in our country, in our homes, in our jobs. That's what we want to hear about.
Biggest thing that 2020 will be decided on.
I think, are you going to go for a party that is expanding government and looks at government as all the solutions? Or are you going to go for the party that's for liberty and continuing the American dream? And that's what our party stands for.
I'm surprised you use the word socialism. I think that's going to be an effective tool.
I think socialism is too, but they need to understand that's a total government takeover.
I understand. And I think that we're going to see that battleground and a couple of the little sparring points along the way. Thank you for making the case. You're always welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. All right. Now, one of these emails that I'm going to show to you because you have to filter this stuff for yourself. I bring on perspective on the show. You're going to get the right, you're going to get the left, but you got to make your decisions. You know that's how this show works. Sleep well tonight. What did that mean in one of these new emails obtained by CNN? Could mean something, could mean nothing. You got to look at the context. I'm going to give it to you because there's an issue now about these emails and whether or not they were a window into dangling a pardon. And if they were, is that wrong? The president can pardon anybody they want. You're going to see them yourself, and you can decide what's wrong and what isn't. Also, is there a reason why the FAA waited so long to finally ground the 737 MAX 8? Did it have skin in the game? Why do I use that phrase? Because the person who's coming up on the show who knows the FAA uses it to explain the delay. What's the argument? Next. The big story you saw first on CNN. Evidence that suggests the president's team was dangling pardons. Michael Cohen clearly thought a pardon was in play in April of last year. Why? Because he got this email. And it relayed that the president's then newest lawyer, named Rudolph Giuliani, wanted Cohen to sleep well tonight because he had friends in high places. And both sides can argue, and will, over who brought up pardons to whom. But the conversations happened. These emails prove that. There was talk of a, quote, back channel to the president, one the Trump team hoped would continue. And we know the conversation went all the way to the White House. So you can decide for yourself how this squares with Cohen's testimony before Congress. But as I've said, it's less about what he can say and more about what he can show, ergo the emails. Now, this shows plenty, especially in context. The person sending the emails is somebody named Robert Costello. Why is he interesting? Because he was not Cohen's attorney. That's key here. He was pushing his services, claiming close ties to Giuliani. The timing of Costello showing up in all this, also key. The feds had just searched Cohen's home and office. Giuliani had only been on Trump's legal team a few days at this point. Cohen was trying to figure out if he should stick to a joint defense agreement with the president or if he should, as he eventually did, flip. At the same time, Costello was emailing Cohen. Same time Costello was emailing Cohen, Trump was tweeting how he always liked and respected Cohen and didn't see Michael flipping. Now, it's true, the word pardon isn't in the emails. Costello says it's utter nonsense to read that into his words. And he says Cohen asked him to go to the president about this. But wait, why would Cohen not ask his own lawyer to do that? And why would Michael Cohen, the president's lawyer, not call the president directly? Unclear. What is clear, people on the president's side were worried about what Cohen was going to do. And they wanted him to remember his close relationship, one that is now gone thanks to what Cohen calls his decision to tell the truth. So, prosecutors made a big move today. They made Paul Manafort pardon-proof just minutes after today's sentencing. I'm talking about New York State prosecutors. State charges can't be pardoned. Is this legit? Cuomo's court takes it up. These new Cohen emails show concern. So does the idea of using Matthew Whitaker to mess with the SDNY investigation. How much do they matter? Let's take them up with Cuomo's court. Elliot Williams, former federal prosecutor, who we should point out consults for LawWorks, an organization dedicated to protecting the special counsel, and John Dean, unparalleled perspective as Nixon's White House counsel during Watergate. An honor to have you both. All right, so Elliot, let's start with you. Why do I care about the Cohen emails? Can't the president pardon anyone? What would make it wrong?
He can, but we've seen before that the president is willing to use the pardon power to reward allies of his. So look at the really high-profile ones. You had Sheriff Joe Arpaio maybe 2 years ago. You had Dinesh D'Souza. These were all individuals who were loyal to the president. And the question is, by floating a pardon, if that's what happened in these emails, was the president trying to reward the loyalty of Michael Cohen back at a time when the president was still very loyal to Michael Cohen?
Okay.
You know, they hadn't had their falling out yet.
Okay, but let's stick with the legal first, and then we'll go to the political, because something could be